Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Galaxy Nail 2 here, and today we are going to be taking a look of a review of one of the newest trains ever. It is the 2026 motorized Gordon. Yes, that is right. This is the new packaging for the motorized line ever. It's actually the first time I actually have these in my hand. It's actually really nice. Actually, hold it. Very awesome. So, as you can see, he has a plastic cover for his tender. I'm assuming that's actually prevent the coal load from actually going missing. As you can see, it has Gordon. It actually has the promotional images of Gordon, and judging from his... Honestly, I do think that the face on the promotional looks a bit off. Not because of the face, but because that his smoke box frames are red instead of black. It's actually really weird. So, and much like with the 80th anniversary, I decided to get Gordon first, the Express engine. And you can actually see that the Thomas and Friends logo has been changed dramatically. The new reboot show. On the back of the packaging, there's barely anything, just copyright. And right here, the space where you open the toy. One gripe I have with this new packaging is that I wish it actually had the plastic covering, just like its predecessor. But without further ado, let's get to snapping. Already got Gordon out of the packaging, and before we actually get started with the train itself, let's go ahead and see these instructions. Barely anything in here. Here's the new pamphlet, and comparing to the old one, you can actually see a big. Just ignore the fact that the one over here is dusty. I need to get rid of this. It's made of paper. Yeah, that's... Here's the new pamphlet, the new Thomas and Friends logo. And this is how you use a screwdriver, which is actually still the same, and you put a single AAA battery this time around. So no more 2 AAA batteries, just one. It's actually really interesting. And now let's get on to the review of Gordon. I gotta say, this is actually miles better than this Gordon right here. Yeah, not a really big fan of this one. It is way too out of scale with the others. It's definitely the weakest of the 7. And as for the side rods, I actually prefer this side rod. Looks more realistic, if you ask me. Also got yourself the training wheel, which is actually separate from the body, which is actually really nice. But unfortunately, it doesn't move. Same thing with this wheel. And this is actually the first Gordon toy to actually have a pony wheel. Now, I wish I had 2, but I understand why they only did 1. And this is how you make a good Gordon toy. It's both an improvement and a downgrade. Now, as for the tender, it is permanent. It is actually permanently attached to the train itself. So there's actually no way to actually uncouple this. Very interesting. And as for the coal load, it is removable. It's also hollowed out on here. Very interesting. Now, can we do the same thing with this one? No, it does not even fit. That's weird. So that is definitely bit of a disappointment of the new 2025 Gordon, but this one is a huge improvement. The tender, what's actually really interesting about this new Gordon is that it actually brings back the old roots from the older Gordons from the mid-90s to 2013, where he's permanently attached to the tender. But with this one, actually has the battery in the tender, whereas the motors and the gears are in the engine. Here's the Ode the Indignity Gordon right here. A little bit heavier, but this is actually the first motorized Gordon to actually have a battery compartment and gears in the engine, whereas the tender is the thing to carry around. So there's still a big gap in it, but it's not as big as the tender engines from last year. So I'll give it that. Now let's go ahead and put a AAA battery inside of this guy. I also like the fact how you don't have to do that. You can do that, it's just there's no wires in the way, so that's good. That wheel is static. Okay, as you can see, one AAA battery. Let's go ahead and get that AAA battery. Okay, it's time to get Gordon back to its route. Okay. Alrighty. So let's see if it works. Oh, that's weird. It doesn't work. Oh, there we go. I just had to push it down hard enough for it to work. So what's really interesting about this Gordon is that instead of having the traditional switches like most other engines do, this one actually has a button to activate the engine, which is actually really nice, but at the same time, you're actually taking away an iconic feature of the train. Been used since day one. Very odd if you ask me. But you also get the return of the magnets. The last time we actually seen magnets in toy form is in 2016 with the Take and Play range. All I'm just hoping is that these magnets don't corrode. That's my wish. Anyways, let's go ahead and run this boy down our track. Going really good up the tunnel. Straight path up. Definitely a big problem. It actually performs really well. Once again with the jump from this tender. Very nice. And that does it for us. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you next time.